The birth of Moses, God's chosen deliverer. Exodus, Bible story. Now a man from the house of Levi went and took as his wife a Levite woman. The woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she took for him a basket made of bulrushes and daubed it with bitumen and pitch. She put the child in it and placed it among the reeds by the riverbank. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. Now the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, while her young women walked beside the river. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her servant woman, and she took it. When she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby was crying. She took pity on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call you a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses because, she said, "I drew him out of the water." Imagine a single act, a desperate mother placing her baby in a basket on a river, irrevocably altering the future of humanity. This wasn't just a tale of survival, it was the catalyst for an ancient prophecy, a hidden thread woven into the very fabric of history. What if we told you this seemingly small moment set in motion a chain of events that still resonates today? The story of Moses' birth in Exodus is more than an ancient narrative. It's the beginning of one of history's greatest rescue missions. Moses was not just born into the world, he was born to deliver, chosen by God to lead his people out of slavery. From a humble beginning in a time of danger to a miraculous rescue in the Nile River, his life reminds us that God's plans often start in the most unlikely places. The setting is Egypt, during a time when the Israelites were enslaved under Pharaoh's harsh rule. Fearing their growing numbers, Pharaoh ordered that all Hebrew baby boys be killed. It was into this world that Moses was born to Amram and Jochebed, a Levite couple. For 3 months they hid him, risking everything. When it became impossible to keep him hidden, Jochebed placed her precious son in a papyrus basket, sealing it with tar and pitch, and set it among the reeds of the Nile River. By God's providence, Pharaoh's daughter discovered the basket while bathing. Moved with compassion, she recognized the child as a Hebrew baby, yet chose to adopt him. Miriam, Moses' sister, courageously offered to find a nurse, leading to Moses' own mother being paid to care for her son until he was old enough to live in Pharaoh's palace. In this way, God protected the deliverer he had appointed, even using the enemy's household as a place of safety and preparation. Moses' story is a picture of divine purpose surviving against all odds. The Nile, a place of death for many Hebrew infants, became the river of life for Moses. The basket can be seen as a symbol of God's protection, an ark that carried destiny through danger. Just as Moses was drawn out of the water to one day draw God's people out of Egypt, we too can be lifted from circumstances meant to destroy us and set on a path to help others. In today's world, we may not face a literal Pharaoh, but we encounter systems, fears, and pressures that try to drown out our faith, identity, and purpose. The birth of Moses reminds us that God's calling is not hindered by the circumstances of our birth or the dangers around us. It challenges parents to see their children as treasures entrusted by God, and it encourages believers to trust God's plan, even when it requires letting go and placing someone or something precious into his hands. We also see that God uses unexpected people, Pharaoh's own daughter, to fulfill his purposes. This is a reminder to remain open to God's work in unexpected ways and through unexpected allies. Lord, thank you for the story of Moses, which reminds us that you are always working, even in times of fear and uncertainty. Help us trust that you are protecting and preparing us for the purpose you've placed on our lives. If this message encouraged you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Bible-based inspiration, share this story with someone who needs a reminder of God's protection, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or prayer requests. Let's keep the conversation going as we encourage one another in faith.